turning stories of hurt into stories of hope. Join with us by calling 303-477-2473. Now, here's Angie Austin with the good news.
And I got a letter from Sandy Zuniga about her personal breast cancer journey and what she really wants to talk to us about today, because she's in the midst of it. You know, she's still in the midst of her treatments. She just got diagnosed a short few months ago, and she wants to teach us how to move from why me to the what now and to get there quickly. And she's also going to teach us about, living life to the fullest after the diagnosis. And she's got a website that can help us with that as well. Welcome back to the Good News on 810 AM KLVZ. My next guest, Sandy Zuniga, just gave me a great idea. She said tomorrow night at Cherry Hills, when I'm passing out flyers at the church at the Dave Ramsey event that we're giving you free tickets to, she said that I should offer hugs as well, a free hug, which for some of you may not be really that enticing, but some of you may like a hug. My show is like a radio hug, don't you think, Sandy?
Absolutely.
Isn't it? It's like getting a radio hug, I always say. Yeah, hug on the radio.
Absolutely.
All right, so Sandy, I got a press release about you, and I just really wanted to hear your story because I got such a positive vibe from it. Tell everyone a little about you and your diagnosis, because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it's very fitting we're telling you your story because you're right in the midst of your treatment.
I am. Yes, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in May. I did the usual self-exams and everything, and I found lumps back in fall and had issues with insurance and stuff. And then I had a biopsy in February that said atypical cells. It wasn't cancer, but my breast surgeon said, let's get it out. We did. We didn't get clear margins. And she said, it's breast cancer. And that was May 21st, the 22nd.
And then you found out, but in the fall, you thought maybe you needed to go in and get looked at.
Yes.
Now that made me so mad on the inside that, with insurance issues, because a lot of people have them, but I know that there are places that will help women. And I know it takes a little bit of legwork, but we're having some people come on tomorrow that help women in the midst of their treatment and who need help with exams, et cetera, to talk with us about how to go about getting help if you don't financially, have the resources to get the testing done, et cetera. So, I'm just sad that happens to women like yourself.
Yep, and that was great. Now, I did have insurance, but I knew that past the mammogram and stuff, if it went worse, I was going to be in trouble financially. So I'd had the mammogram and everything, and I went through all that. And then on May 21st, I had the lumpectomy, or I got the information that it was cancer. And then next day I went for an MRI, and the following day they told me I needed a mastectomy, which I was not ready for.
I mean, that was a quick progression from finding out that you had it to, a mastectomy.
Yeah. And then I went to feeling like I needed to do something. I couldn't just be at the mercy of the medical field, which is great and has its purpose, but I went into a holistic intervention for 30 days and told my doctor, I asked her if that was okay, and she gave me that okay to do it. So I wanted to empower myself and not just be at the mercy of whatever the statistics were on the medical side, because you really have to buy into whatever decisions you're going to make, and whatever you're going to do is going to impact what your outcome is.
Right.
So I did that, and timing-wise, it took a couple months for them to get me in, and I had a mastectomy in August. And in July, I just realized that women, we get this diagnosis, and this is a life-changing event. It's not the time to go hide, to go, look for outlets that are negative. We need positivity in our lives, and we need to go ahead and do a whole body approach and empower ourselves, because we have to make sure that we are in control of our destiny with whatever pieces we need. So basically
I so agree too with educating yourself. I've had several instances where one doctor said something to me and I had a cancer scare, and they immediately scheduled surgery, and then I went to an oncologist who said, this isn't cancer, it doesn't behave like this, let's just monitor this with ultrasounds. And I was like, wait a second. The other guy, I literally, the night before the surgery, I said, I don't feel right about this. Right. I want to cancel the surgery. I want to see someone else. And my doctor was so great about it. He said, no problem if you're uncomfortable with having the surgery. Let's go ahead and put it off. and go to see the other doctor. And then I have not had the surgery because they said I didn't need it because he said I didn't have cancer, and it actually shrunk. So I thought to myself, my goodness, I would have gone in for surgery when I really didn't have to. So my little small story there is more, it's not as serious as yours, but it's more about educating yourself, following your gut feeling, and getting a second opinion and a third if you need it.
Absolutely. And we have the intuition. We have to trust ourselves as well. And on my site, mypersonalbreastcancerjourney.com, I have some videos also with choosing your right cancer team and everything.
Oh, because it is a team. You're right.
Yes. And the different people, I went to 2 different oncologists. One, it was all about statistics and gave me a death sentence. And so I said,
they said what they gave you like a timeline?
Not a timeline, but basically it was like, here's the statistics, and they couldn't tell me whether I was a 5% that'll die in 5 years or not, and I'll never be cancer free. We never know where it is and stuff, and there was no hope. It was just a negative thing. And so I called up and said, you got to give me somebody else. And so I had to switch over to a different hospital for the oncologist, but it was my choice, and I pushed back and said, I'm not taking who you just first gave me.
I see a lot of people are afraid to stand up for themselves because they think of doctors kind of like God, that they're omnipotent and that they know so much. And while it certainly can't hurt his feelings and ask for a different doctor, yes, you can.
Absolutely.
And his feelings will be just fine. He'll have plenty of other patients to fill your shoes.
Yep. And it is your destiny.
Absolutely.
And that's
so then
how
the new oncologist, was that a better experience for you in terms of hope?
Yes, it was the same information, but he delivered it better. And I was looking for an integrative oncologist, which I didn't find, but I did want somebody open to the integrative approach, because this is a whole body approach in any illness at all, and just the way you live your life. So.
Now, when you talk about that, give people an idea of how that changed your life. Are you talking about food, exercise, clean water, the way you live, staying away from pollution, how you eat? Like, what do you mean by the full body approach?
Yeah, so it's not just the medical side. There's a whole, with breast cancer, there's a whole nutrition side to it. There's cancer feeds on sugar and stuff, so you have to really, I went cold turkey, and I am a sugar fiend. So, but I have fallen off the wagon after surgery, but that was very important. I was more scared of what to put in my mouth, the cancer, than what to put in my mouth. So I really tried to find the information. I went to alkaline water, basically. It's supposed to help. And all these things, I don't know for sure what's going to help. I don't think there's one magic bullet one way or another.
But if you pour in 10 positive things, 20 positive things, rather than just the surgery or just chemo, something's going to help. If you do everything you possibly can to make yourself better, then you are empowering yourself, and maybe 5 of those work.
Yes, and there's a mind-body connection. When I went into surgeries and stuff, I had a healing and surgery meditation, and I asked them if I could have it on my iPod when I was going into surgery. Even though I was going to be under, my mind was still occupied with that while they were working and traumatizing my body, and I really think that helped as well.
Absolutely. Now, on your website, do you talk about the diet? Because I do believe that is a huge part at breastcancersupporter.com. Breastcancersupporter.com is one, and then your website is mypersonalbreastcancerjourney.com.
Right, and that's where I have all the videos. And at first, it's a lot of the medical information, because I'm doing these as I'm going through it. I don't want to miss anything. I'm trying to give these women who are newly diagnosed exactly a real clear snapshot of what's happening as it's going through.
So you're like holding their hand through the process.
I'm trying to.
Hugging them, because you said you like to hug. You're hugging them through the process.
I am.
Really, and they need a hug, because a lot of these women, I think you're young. You're just over 40. And I think that, when my grandmother was diagnosed, she wasn't as savvy with the medical community. So she just listened to what was told, and she was kind of lost. So I think that the support you're giving women, spiritually, physically, mentally, that is such a gift, because a lot of the women don't have the guts to ask for additional help or look into other avenues for healing. So if someone's going through this right now, because this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, give them just a little pep talk, what you've learned, something that might help them. And then, of course, they can reach you on mypersonalbreastcancerjourney.com. And I have a link on my Facebook page too.
Yeah, basically this is a life-changing diagnosis, a life-changing event, and life does go on regardless of what you're going through. Your family's still going to be there. You still have to most likely go to work, all that kind of stuff. So how do you move beyond it? It's not the why me, why did I get it? It's what can we do now? How to, what now? where do we go from here? So remember, the positivity has got to be there. You're going to feel like crap, and know that you have to start making changes. It's a life-changing event, so you have to try and integrate things that you need to start doing now. If you continue with what you were doing before you got the diagnosis, I truly believe you are going to get relapses and all that kind of stuff. So with the whole
Change your
integrated
course.
approach, yes, exactly. Empower yourself and know that this does not have to define you in a negative way. This is something that's totally different. For me, it gave me a purpose in life. And I just want to make sure that every woman, regardless of what you choose and who's around you, you want to have conviction in whatever decision you make and make it with full support, and know that I will support you on my site. And anyone who has a loved one who is diagnosed, you can go to breastcancersupporter.com, and I've got a free report on there, how to help, essential tips, resources, and personal stories for breast cancer supporters, so you can be a great resource and a help for that person who is diagnosed and right now needs your help.
So they can help hold the hand of the
Yes.
person going through it. And tell people briefly, if you can, where you stand right now, because I know that tomorrow we were going to have you on, but
Yes.
because of your treatments right now, tomorrow you're actually going to feel sick.
Yep. I am on my third round of chemo, so I'm 75% done, one more. And I'll share this on my site too. Basically with my symptoms, it just started from day 3 to 5 is where the side effects are. But you get through them and then you're better.
Well, we'll be praying for you. Thank you so much for
Angie.
coming in, and we'll be sending people to your site. We'll put the link's already up on my Facebook page, mypersonalbreastcancerjourney.com. Thanks, Sandy. You're listening to The Good News on 8:10 a.m. KLVZ. When we come back,